What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you guys about angles of elevation and depression. So let's start off. Let's just say we have a circle right here, and here is a wall. And let's say that this circle to the wall is looking up at it. And this forms a right triangle, as you can see right there. So, now, the angle of depression is going to be this length right here. Now, depression. What that means is whenever you're depressed, you're kind of down and sad, correct? Okay, well, since you're down and sad, you're going to be looking down. So it's not going to be looking up, because that angle's looking up. But it's also not going to be looking this way, because it is depressed that it's not inside the triangle. So remember that it can't be right here, but it's got to be right here, in this area. So the angle of depression is 49, 49, 49 degrees. So this angle is going to be 49 degrees, as showing right here. So what do we know about these opposite angles? Well, they're the same, which means they're congruent. So this is also 49 degrees. Hey! Now this works. So in trig, if you already know SOHCAHTOA, my thing is glitching out. If you already know SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, and tangent, to be more specific, opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Just remember that and it works. Now this right here is opposite. This is adjacent because it's adjacent to theta, and then this is always going to be the hypotenuse. So now that we have this, turns out that these congruent angles, this one is the angle of depression, and this one is the angle of elevation. So if we had the angle of elevation, and that was 49, then we would have just put it back here and saved us a step of doing this. So they're very closely related to each other. Okay, so let's get started on some sample problems. So let's say this ball right here is looking at a wall, and he can calculate the angle of elevation, which is 49 degrees. Alright, well, let's start with some sample problems. So this ball is able to calculate that the angle of elevation to this wall from where it can look is 29 degrees. So we're just gonna make this a right triangle because it can form that, because it kind of like looks like that, if you can see that. And the angle of elevation was 29, so that's gonna go right there because it's elevating up and it's happy that it's in the triangle. And the angle of depression for this would be 29. You get the idea. So now that we have this, we're able to find the height. Now that we have this, if we had another thing like 4 right here, if we had that and we wanted to find the adjacent, then you could just do tangent or TOA, and that's opposite over adjacent. So you would do tan of 29 equals opposite over adjacent, so it's 4 over adjacent. And so what you would do right here, since it's not on the bottom, you can't cross multiply it. So instead, you just have to do 4 divided by tangent of 29 on your calculator, and you'll get an answer.